Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time again for all of you to shut up and sit down because I'm talking. First things first, I want to address the linebacks and Coach Wilson. Last week was absolutely pathetic. I had never seen anything that bad from the champions. The League of Gods embarrassed you, and if it weren't for Wilson, you two would have lost about 4 times. Therefore, the League of Gods will be getting another rematch with you two. This time, there will be no Wilson, and it will be a steel cage match for the tag team titles. It's time for you two to step up and finally prove yourselves. Also, tonight we will be having another qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber match as the All-Heart Alan Hart will take on the powerhouse that is Bomber. And in tonight's main event, all 4 current participants will be in a tag team match tonight. And that is all we have for tonight. Oh wait, no, there's one more thing. If anyone knows where Jaden is, please could you let us know, because we haven't heard from him for the past week and he hasn't contacted any of us. Anyway, that's it for now. I can't stand to be out here and look at your ugly faces anymore, so I'm out of here. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Darren Jacobs and welcome to another episode of Monday Night Mayhem, and we are kicking things off, as the general manager just said, with another qualifier for, for the Elimination Chamber match. And the first person down to the ring is the All-Heart Alan Hart, who has shot up the rankings as of late. Mr. Alan Hart, after being part of Team Jaden, who represented Team Mayhem at the Mind Games pay-per-view. He really has shown his work and shown his talent. However, he's only really shown it in tag team action, to be fair, because in singles action, he hasn't quite impressed. And of course, suffering that big defeat to James Rowley at the Hellfire pay-per-view, and he didn't look too impressive in that one either. James Rowley made quick work of him, but Alan Hart with a chance to bounce back here, where James Rowley failed to capture his opportunity. Can Alan Hart capture his opportunity here tonight to go for the WIW Championship in the Elimination Chamber? But he's got a tough opponent, a man in desperate need to bounce back, and what a better way to bounce back than with the WIW Championship opportunity. It is Bomber who is making his way down to the ring, and this is going to come as a surprise to most people, considering that Bomber has been on a bad run as of late. But of course, he did start off with a very big hot streak, and it was only until him and Dixon started teaming together when things went awry for him. And then Dixon, of course, took out frustrations on Bomber. But Bomber now with a chance to bounce back, excuse me. And of course, we will see the other 4 participants in the Elimination Chamber in tag team action tonight, as the general manager alluded to earlier. They will be competing in tonight's main event. But everybody's hungry for it, and so far we have Stephen Miller, Aaron Albright, the champion, of course, at the current moment, Original Brad, and Brad Skeens in the chamber. But one of these two will cement their spot in the chamber as well. Well, Alan Hart and Bomber, this is a big opportunity, the biggest opportunity that they've had to date. Who can capitalize? We will find out, and Alan Hart straight out the gate, not wasting any time. And that's what he's got to do, Alan Hart. Getting control early. We know the power and the pure strength of Bomber. And of course, Alan Hart, quite a submission specialist we've seen in the past. And of course, also the ability to knock people out with the Heart Stopper. And of course, coming off of Valentine's Day, you thought that would have been Alan Hart's special day there, Mr. All-Heart himself. But of course, no love for his opponents. Just like no love was on Fight Night last night. And now Alan Hart continuing to dominate here in the early stages of this match, and a big clothesline. And Bomber struggling here, and Alan Hart taking a second to admire his work. He's off to a great start, but we know Bomber has that heart, that power to fight back in this match, and he's going straight for it here. Military press. Power slam. Shades of John Cutter there with that move. And John Carter and Bomber, oh, what a match that would be. Could you imagine that? Two big powerhouses like that going up against each other. What a contest that would be. Big implications on the line, and neither man are going to back down or let the other gain control. But Alan Hart has got off to a good start, and he doesn't look like he wants to slow down just yet. Oh, big strikes landing now from Bomber, and this is the striking power we know he has. But Alan Hart able to get behind, and now might connect with something big here in a snap German. Very nicely done by Alan Hart, who has been on quite a roll as of late. In both matches, he looked both tag team matches for the Mind Games. He looked absolutely impressive, and that's why the general manager has given him this chance here tonight. But he hasn't taken it easy on him because Bomber is a tough opponent for most people, and I believe that Bomber has already beaten Alan Hart once. And if he can do it again, that could be the difference maker for him and get his career back on track with a WIW Championship opportunity. And the general manager giving as many people this opportunity as possible. He wants to see who the real champions are. He wants to establish a true WIW champion on the brand, and he believes he can do that at the Chamber. And of course, if Aaron Albright can finally retain it, it'll be his first successful title defense, the first successful title defense in the title's history. Not even King Sam himself could have retained it. No one has ever done it, and Albright is looking to be the first. But these two looking to get their first shot at the WIW champion, Aaron Albright. A big win for both of these men it would be. For Bomber, hasn't had a single title shot yet. Alan Hart, I don't believe, has had one either. He might have been a part of the 8-man battle royal. I don't think he was. Off the top of my head, I don't think he was. But we knew big things were coming from him after his last couple of performances. And right now he's taking full advantage here. Well done there by Alan Hart. Trying his best not to lose control here, but Bomber is fighting back, and he's fighting back hard. And now look at this, wrenching away on the neck. Alan Hart, a very technical fighter as well. Not quite as the technical levels of William Hale, but he's a very technical fighter, and he uses his wearing down abilities to land the big submissions. But now spinning him around, there's the Heart Stopper. Heart Stopper by Alan Hart. And Alan Hart might not be too far away from wrapping this one up, but Bomber gonna fight back here off the Heart Stopper, not gonna let it go down that easy. He's gonna try and steal the cover here to get into the WIW Championship match. It's only a 1 count. And of course, with other matches looming, we know Sandra Piper and Catherine Albright will be colliding. The general manager has not revealed what type of match that is going to be as of yet. We know as well now, thanks to the GM's speech this morning, we now know that the WIW Mayhem Tag Team Championships will be defended against the League of Gods. And now look at this, a massive powerbomb to Bomber, and we know Bomber's the man who usually does the powerbombs. Oh, look at this, dragging him away from the ropes here. Alan Hart is making a mockery here of the powerhouse that is Bomber. Bomber's in a bad position. The King of Swing, he's looking to connect. Alan Hart just making a mockery of the powerhouse. And now might be able to score the cover off of it. Alan Hart to go to the WIW Championship Elimination Chamber. Makes light work of Bomber. It didn't even need to use the sharpshooter. Alan Hart progresses to the Elimination Chamber. And what a rise to the top it has been for Alan Hart. And he has done it by any means necessary. And we know that. But what a win here tonight. Oh dear. The look in his eyes, that's the same look he gave to James Rowley. He's not done with him here. He's sending a warning to everybody in the chamber, just like original Brad did. Sending a message to the participants in the chamber. Everybody wants to be the top guy, the face of the franchise. And Alan Hart just became the 5th person in the chamber, I believe. So we got one more person to crown. Who that will be, we'll have to find out. But it is time to move on to down tonight's card. Don't you think it's amazing what I have achieved? I've gone from a temporary contract to becoming the new European champion by beating Stephen Miller. I'd say that I couldn't have done it without you guys, but that isn't true. I did this all by myself. I beat the best that this company has to offer. And what did you all do? Cheer for Brad? For Miller? For Thomas? Pathetic. But you better start learning to cheer for me, because this is my title now. And I don't have any intention of losing it, no matter what you mindless morons believe. The truth is that I am the... Jax, you sound awful confident considering you haven't defended it yet. I did the same thing when I was champ, and unfortunately I was stupid enough to waste my time as champion. But I've learned from my mistakes, and now that I am well rested and healthy, I say it's about time for me to come back and take my European Championship back. These amazing people don't deserve a disrespectful champ like you. So what do you say you put your money where your mouth is and face me at lockdown? Prove as you are as good as you claim to be. You're awful confident considering you couldn't defend it either. You lost the title twice. You say I don't deserve to be a champion? But I say you're a hypocrite. You won the title with the help of Jaden. You then lost it to Skeens, then lost the rematch the next week. It seems to me that you're the one who needs to prove that you're worth a rematch. So tell me, Welsh boy, what makes you worth the title shot in comparison to anybody else? Jax, I'm so glad you asked. You see, I know that I haven't proven it to date, but thanks to the GM, I get to prove it tonight. Because me and you are gonna throw down right now. So let's get a ref in this ring and let me show you why I deserve to be the champion. Well, it looks like we've just got ourselves an impromptu match. The referee calls for the bell and away we go here. And look at that, Mason Foster straight out the gate with the knee to the European champion. Well, Mason Foster staking his claim. He wants another shot at the European champion. Of course, a former European champion himself. But Jax Wolfe, he wanted a title defense and he wants one at lockdown, but it looks like he just got he got a bigger challenge than he was expecting potentially. Mason Foster looking to become a two-time European champion. Look at that, there's a beautiful suplex. Oh, but Jax Wolfe's not done there. There's a second one, there it is. And looking for one more. Spins him around this time. And there's a third suplex. Of course, Mason Foster believing that, of course, he should have won the European Championship back, but he got careless and he made the mistake of cashing it in right away, even though he was injured. But he says he's back now and he's back to 100%, and he's gunning for the European Championship one more time, and he wants a match at lockdown. But Jax Wolfe wanting to see what he's made of. Well countered. Well countered indeed there by Mason Foster, and now look at him fly, and there's a knee across the jaw. Mason Foster at a big task tonight. If he can impress, he might be looking at a European Championship shot at lockdown, which is scheduled to be one hell of a pay-per-view already. So much craziness that's already being booked for that match, and it's just not stopping for anyone. And now Mason Foster takes him to the outside. Jumps over the ropes there. Took him a second, staggered over it almost. Oh, and oh, look at that! In between the gap where both corners of the table could be used. And Mason Foster basically just stabbed him with both corners of the table at the same time. Mason Foster coming out here aggressive, using the steel steps as well. Not wasting his time. He said that Jax Wolfe wants him to prove he's worthy of another shot. And that's exactly what he's trying to do here. Count is rising. Mason Foster, we know, is not going to want to do this on count out. He'll be sure to chuck him back in the ring. At the count of 6, he does that. Count of 7, he follows back. And Mason Foster, off to a promising start here. He used the outside of the area very, very well here. And now into the cover. Is that going to be enough? No, it's not. It's only a 1 count. And Mason Foster on the prowl. He has control in this match, and I don't think that Jax Wolfe was quite prepared for this as he thought he was. Oh, look at that! Beautiful move from Jax Wolfe. Beautiful athleticism. Maybe he's ready for a Cruiserweight title opportunity. Jax Wolfe, look at this. Charging up for 450 splash right onto Foster. And he's going straight into the cover off of it, but it's a rope break. And these two we knew would be a great match. We didn't expect to see it tonight. But we're getting a glimpse of what could potentially be a lockdown matchup. And what amazing work so far from both of these men. Mason Foster with an early start, but now Jax Wolfe mounting some big heavy hits. And now he wants to take him to the outside. Maybe he does. To the outside they go once more, and the referee can't do anything except count him up. Oh, look at this! He tosses him onto one table, and now going to use that table all to his advantage. And all of a sudden, these two landing the similar hits to each other. And now what's Wolfe thinking? Oh God, we've seen this cycle before. Not this. Swinging neck breaker. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a quick commercial break, so don't you go anywhere. We'll be back right after this. Dormus, the new fragrance by Dormus. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Monday Night Mayhem. And Jax Wolfe in a bit of trouble there as we should cut back at the count of 1 during the break. The fight was majority outside, but they finally managed to get themselves back inside the ring. Jax Wolfe losing the control just at the end of the commercial break, but now trying to fight back here and keep the control. And he has him in the corner. That's where he wants him. Foster in trouble here. Rolling Thunder connects with a splash. And Jax Wolfe, the European champion, lining up Foster. Foster's in trouble here. If he can get him up on the shoulders, looking for the vintage Jax Wolfe pop-up cutter. Beautiful connection on the cutter. And the European champion goes for the cover on the Welsh Wonder Boy. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not. It's 2.5. Jax Wolfe appealing that to 2. It's a 3 count, but Foster did kick out. And he fights on. The Welshman looking to get them the Welsh flag back onto the side plates of the European Championship. And he's not giving in to Jax Wolfe to let this happen. Now he's got him in the middle of the ring. Oh, and the big knee to the face. And a little bit of showboating here as he goes into the cover off of that knee. He's only going to get a 1 count. And Mason Foster putting on a little bit of a show here as well. This is Mason Foster really asserting himself here. Came out the gate aggressive. Now adding a slight bit of flair here. Almost just trying to score some points here. Just trying to say he's still in control of this match. Big kick to the gut. Oh my God. He's looking for the DDT. Connects with it. Connects with it. And into the cover. Into the cover. Has he put away the European champion? Yes, he has. The DDT from out of nowhere. And he just picked up the win against the European champion. Well, he came out here tonight to prove a point. He said he's worthy of a European Championship opportunity. He wants one more shot at the gold. And tonight, he might have just taken his best step towards it. Jax Wolfe thought he had it there with the pop-up cutter, but in the end, it was the devastating DDT. There's a big knee from Mason Foster and a little bit of flair to follow through with it as well. But in the end, that trusty old DDT that won him the European Championship months ago against Brad Skeens wins him tonight against the current European champion Jax Wolfe. Well, I think that might have just solidified Mason Foster getting another shot at the title. And listen to the crowd, they're going nuts. The fan favourite Mason Foster on the road to redemption here. And it's looking to collide at Lockdown for a chance to become a 2-time European champion. Mason Foster, can he cash in on the big opportunity to do so? Can he get the Welsh flags back on the side plates? Or will Jax Wolfe be able to keep the American flag hanging high and proud on those side plates. We'll have to find out at lockdown potentially, but it is time to move on down to tonight's card. Next up tonight, some cruiserweight action, and Estrella Chico is making his way down to the ring. We're on the search for a contender, potentially to take him on at lockdown, Jake Girffiths, but Estrella Chico, the star boy, wants to be the next in line. Oh dear, not again. This happened on Fight Night and now again on Mayhem. Jake Girffiths. Oh, that's just uncalled for. Jake Girffiths. He shouldn't even be on the show tonight. I mean, he is the cruiserweight champion. He can be on both shows. And now he's just beating down on Estrella Chico and crashing him onto the ramp there. And Jake Girffiths, he's putting the whole cruiserweight division on notice. And I thought last week was a good example. And now this week, he's doing the same again. Looks like he has no intention at all of defending, putting his title on the line in a matchup. And now in the ring, daring Chico to get back here. And is this the matchup we're going to see? This isn't what was supposed to be on the card, but both these two in the ring. Oh no, Jake Girffiths teasing him here. And the referee says no contest once again. Once again, Jake Girffiths going to stop the match, but Estrella Chico trying to fight back, but Jake Girffiths just trying to make sure that there are no more cruiserweights to defy him no more. And now look at this. This is just unnecessary. Beats him down. And Jake Girffiths takes out another cruiserweight. Next up tonight, Catherine Albright in-ring action for some women's action tonight. She and Arian Reyes, the last two sole survivors of Sandra Piper's reign of dominance as of late, will step into the ring one-on-one, and Catherine Albright getting some warm-up before her match at Lockdown. The general manager has not announced what the stipulation is for their match. Of course, we know since it is Lockdown, it will be a cage match, and it will be for the Women's Championship, but we don't know what type of cage match it's going to be. Are we looking at a steel cage, a Hell in a Cell? I don't know. We don't know yet. The general manager is keeping it all under wraps because we know that this is going to be a heated match. Two women who have been wanting to get their hands on each other for quite some time, and they just haven't been able to do it as of yet. But Catherine Albright looking to dethrone the dominant women's champion, if it's even possible. Right now, Sandra Piper is the most dominant force in the entire women's division and both women's division. No one can slow her down, but she's hoping to do so. And Arian Reyes looking to get herself noticed here tonight. Of course, was supposed to be signed as a manager to Starboy, Estrella Chico. Instead, pursued a chance at the women's championship, and she's been in the ring ever since, realizing her passion for the sport once again. And Arian Reyes looking to stake her claim to a potential women's championship shot in the future. Sandra Piper, she's had several defenses now and against several different opponents, but Arian Reyes yet to face the champion, and she's looking for a chance to do just that. If she's the manager of the Star Boy, that must make her the Star Girl. But can she act like the Star Girl here tonight in ring action against the #1 contender? And straight out the gate, collar and elbow tie up. And are we going to expect a collar and elbow tie up in Sandra Piper's match with Tiffany against Catherine? I highly doubt it, to be honest, because not exactly a collar and elbow type of woman. She just likes to come out the gate strong, destroy her opponents, and then either kill them or at least pin them, depending on what she likes to do. But lately, she's been going for the submission. She's been wanting to make her opponents pay. She's become incredibly more ruthless, and all the camera phones out here as Tiffany Abbott goes top rope. And I knew I was going to say Tiffany Abbott. It's Catherine Albright, excuse me. To the top rope and into the cover straight away. Must have hurt on that leg drop miss, but Arian Reyes ain't going to get the cover that easy. And of course, Catherine Albright needs to prove herself if she really is going to compete for the Mayhem Women's Championship, because if she can't beat people like Arian Reyes, she's not going to stand a chance against Sandra Piper. No disrespect to Arian Reyes at all, of course, that is not true at all. But in the end, Arian Reyes taken out to the outside. Arian Reyes, of course, not the champion, hasn't beaten everybody in the brand as she has. And there's the suplex. And Catherine Albright, she made a claim months ago to become the next #1 contender. She beat several other women in a fatal 4-way, and then from there she never really pushed on because Mind Games hits. But now that Mind Game's done, she's ready to excel and ready to push back to the top, and especially now that the threat of Leia Rose has been dealt with. And most of the women being torn apart and completely just destroyed by Sandra Piper, who is just so dominant here in her own division. And of course, she's even beaten the Fight Night Women's Champion as well in Laura Stables, and no one else has really been able to do that over on that brand. We've had 2 dominant women's champions, and the only 2 that we've had, and we're still looking for more. Into the cover goes Catherine Albright. And of course, Catherine Albright has been keeping a watchful eye on the champion for weeks now, and the champion's been doing the same likewise. And Catherine Albright really trying to prove she's worth a match. She's up to the task. And that's what it's all about in the women's division, because it's still early days. Everyone's just trying to assert their place, assert their dominance in it. But as of right now, no one has really managed to do just that. Big uppercut there by Arian Reyes. Looking for a super kick and connects right on the jaw of Tiffany. Why do I keep saying Tiffany? I don't know. Catherine, I am really sorry. Okay, Catherine, all right. Trying to fight back now. She grabs her by the arm and twists. And she's got off to a slow start here. Reyes has done very well. She's going to try and sneak the cover. It's only a 1 count. And Reyes, we know, a very tough fighter. Very fast, agile fighter. Very similar to, of course, Starboy, the Estrella Chico. So I guess that's where she's been learning her wrestling kind of style from. So she can do that kind of thing, improve on her offense a bit more. There's no reason at all why she can't be a women's champion contender later down the line. But look at this. Oh, try to get her up. But look at this. Well countered there by Arian Reyes, who's not backing down from Catherine at all here tonight. And now picking her back up to her feet. Big strike to the jaw. Gets underneath. Oh, and a big clothesline there. Trying to kill the momentum is Catherine Albright. And up to her feet. Now looking for a Northern Lights. Connects with it. And bridges through into the gut. Oh, wait, no, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. Into a brainbuster. Massive move there by Catherine Albright, who's hyping herself up now, screaming to the crowd. She's getting herself hyped up for this match, and there's a leg drop. And Arian Reyes needs to provide an answer now, because Albright starting to get going. There's a beautiful snap over the shoulder. Oh, look at that. Well countered there, and that's the agility I was talking about from Arian Reyes, who's looking ready to put this one away. The #1 contender in trouble here. Kick to the gut. And now what's she looking for? Axe kick. Oh, beautiful axe kick. Her own variation out of it, of course. And into the cover. Hang on, that's looking like a rope break. Oh, no, she's just away from the ropes. And Reyes with the huge upset victory against the #1 contender. Well, maybe after the weeks of mind games and, of course, last week's attack on Catherine Albright, Sandra Piper is finally starting to crack down Tiffany Abbott. Don't I keep saying Tiffany Abbott? Catherine Albright, and taking her down. And Arian Reyes has taken full advantage. She's picked up the win here tonight. What a victory that is indeed. And maybe now she can stake a claim for the Women's Championship. Because right now she has just as much right as Catherine Albright. I guess we'll have to find out soon how Catherine responds and how Arian Reyes advances further. But what a victory for her here tonight. She needed that one desperately, and she was able to pick up the result that she needed. Big win for her tonight. Let's move on down the rest of the card. And last up tonight in the main event, it is a tag team matchup between 4 of the participants who have already booked their place in the Elimination Chamber. As we saw earlier tonight, Alan Hart became the 5th man, and with a matter of weeks to go before the pay-per-view, 2 shows after this, in fact, to crown a final member for that match, things are starting to get heated between this man and the WIW champion. Brad Skeens and Arian Albright been colliding for weeks now, ever since Brad Skeens became the first official participant in the Elimination Chamber. And clearly Arian Albright, following Brad Skeens' match last week, he attacked him because he's clearly seeing him as a threat. And I would as well, because he has been on a phenomenal win streak as of late. He's one of the very first people, I believe one of the very rare occasions, where Stephen Miller was beaten clean in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, by him one-on-one. I'm not even sure that he's ever lost one-on-one before, and this man has finally done it. This man has been absolutely unstoppable as late. He has that vicious spear, which knocks down most of his competitors. But if all else fails, he's developed a new submission, the Anaconda Bite, which has helped him very well so far. And he's looking more and more impressive as time goes on. Tonight, he teams with the man who he beat last week, the real deal, Steve Miller, who, as you can imagine, is probably not happy about the fact that he lost. But I'm not sure he'll mind because a WIW championship match is already been confirmed for him. He had to go through his qualifying stage to get it, but he's done so. And of course, tonight he'll be going up against Original Brad. But Steve Miller, with his eyes on the prize here tonight. And of course, he'll be going up against the champion as well. So he's going to have to put any differences that he might have with Skeens aside. And they need to work together here tonight to pick up a win against two men who have made it clear they're going to do whatever is necessary to get the job done. And the first man down to the ring who surprised everyone last week and made them and took a turn for the worst after beating down James Rowley following his qualification victory. Has already lost to Steve Miller once, and many believing that's what tipped him over the edge. He had enough of losing, and when he finally got the win, he didn't want to lose it. And now is making sure he'll do whatever's necessary. Well, Brad, in his traditional Original Brad style, refusing to comment, doesn't say anything about it. He's here to get the job done, and to be honest, you've got to respect him for that. But you can't appreciate the methods that he's taking to get these opportunities. Original Brad, it's questionable what you're doing. And of course, I mean, he's a long-term time frame with the general manager, as the general manager pointed out a few shows ago. And maybe that's why the sudden change. He's seen the success it's giving Austin and taking out the Wolfpack. Maybe he believes that's the way forward from now on. But that's 3 men down out of the 4. And it's time to bring down the last man, which is the WIW champion. And all eyes will be on him from here on out tonight, because he's got one hell of a task. The general manager telling him he has to defend this title at Elimination Chamber, in the Elimination Chamber match for the WIW Championship. But look at the people he's got in that ring. He has got the toughest task to date as champion. And of course, he's never defended it anyway. This is the hardest task he's had to face. And if he walks out of this tonight, there's no doubt in my mind that he deserves to be wearing that title. The general manager had to give him quite a bit of help to help him capture it for a 4th consecutive time. But now he has the tough job of defending it, which he has never successfully done in all 4 stints as champion. Well, Original Brad and Brad Skeens going to start this one off. And Brad Skeens and Original Brad with a hatred at each other. They haven't had it come down to blows in the ring as of yet. They did in the 8-man Battle Royal, but Steve Miller was in that as well. And Steve Miller eliminated Original Brad on roll-up, then went on to beat him next week on the show on Mayhem. So, yeah, Original Brad not with much hate, not with much like to either of the men he's going up against here tonight. And of course, we know Brad isn't exactly the best when it comes to tag team competition. Of course, the European champion Jax Wolf found that out because they did a match way back in the trial era. Brad refused to tag him in once. They lost, and as a result, Jax Wolf lost his job. Of course, he would find a way back this year, and this year has been more dominant than ever and has found himself the European title. And Original Brad, of course, the first ever World Heavyweight Champion. Aaron Albright, the first ever 4-time WIW Champion. A lot of history in this ring. Brad Skeens, the 3rd ever European Champion. Steve Miller, the only man yet to capture a title, but you've got to believe it's coming soon. This man is amazing in the ring. It takes nothing short of a bulldozer to keep this man down at times. And look at him already playing to the crowd. And Original Brad and Brad Skeens, as I was saying before, they haven't come to blows in the ring, but through the comment section, these two trading back and forth whether who's the better Brad, who has been the better Brad, and who will still be the better Brad. They both believe they're capable of it. The question is who can prove it, and they both had the chance to do that at the Elimination Chamber. Well, of course, we still don't know the order of the Elimination Chamber. The general manager has assured us that it will be at random. Everyone will be receiving a random number. No one will be in 1st or 6th. No one will know until the day. So there's no way of preparing. No one gets a psychological advantage here tonight at the Elimination Chamber match. They have to win. They have to win the best way they know how, and that's just beating everybody. They don't know what order they're coming in, so they can't prepare to come in 1st, to come in last. They have to prepare for the match. And now tag coming in. In comes Albright. And Brad making the tag, which is definitely unusual in Brad's tag team history, as we've mentioned before. But then again, saying that, Brad actually was part of a very successful tag team once before when he was teaming with Travis Cottrell. But then after that, he lost a lot of trust towards people because, you know, because of how it ended between the two. It ended with Travis sleeping with Brad's mum. So, yeah, it didn't end on the best of terms, that is for sure. And Brad Skeens now left alone in the ring with the man who attacked him last week, Arian Reyes. And I'm sure he's going to want to take his frustrations out on him if he can. A beautiful suplex. And Albright rocking some new gear here tonight. He's got, he's grown quite a bit of his facial hair and he hasn't shaved it off. And did you see the impact on that Northern Lights, crashing his entire body on the ropes there? And now Albright, oh, there's a massive knee right across the jaw. Albright with a variety of moves, and like I say, the reason he's been a 4-time champion is, yes, he has struggled to defend it, but he's always cashed in when his rematch clause is there. He's always managed to stay on top, and he is one of the best fighters that we have on the brand. He just has a problem. It's just that title is cursed, and it's not just him. Jaden found out the same. Rage found out the same, and so did King Sam. Everyone who's held that title has never defended it. And tonight, Brad Skeens sending him a warning saying that he's coming to capture that title. But the WIW Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship, of course, were supposed to be equal titles. But questioning as of late, people, of course, questioning because of the results of previous WIW Championship reigns, whether or not they really are equal or if one tips the scale to the other. And Albright sends him to the corner and wisely tags out here. Back in comes original Brad. And now look at this, getting his own little assisted old school there in a chop block from behind. And Brad bringing out some more dirtier tactics here. More aggressive at least. Just trying to assert some dominance. He knows he's got to send the warning to them. But Skeens sending a warning of his own. Package pile driver. Oh, and in his brief history with the Wolfpack, original Brad, I bet, has been hit with more than his fair share of those. And now a miniature DDT. Oh, and Brad sending a warning to Steve Miller, who's trying to get tagged in, but Brad stops Skeens from tagging out. He wants him in the ring. Is he going to tag out again here? And some more tag team work here between Albright and Brad. They're working very well here tonight. But then again, on the other end, Skeens and Miller are actually doing a very good job working together as well. This has been a very interesting tag team encounter here. And of course, not a lot of trust in the ring, because as we know, only one of these men are going to walk out with the WIW Championship, and they've all got to beat the living hell out of each other inside one of the most devastating structures known to man, inside that elimination chamber. So lockdown is going to be one hell of a card. It's going to have loads of craziness. What the hell? The spear from out of nowhere. And that's what I'm saying. He just has that potential to just unleash it from nowhere, and Brad just took out the referee. And now, oh, original Brad almost hit there by Steve Miller, but he deals with Steve Miller. And the referee is down. Skeens hitting another surprise spear from out of nowhere. And now continues to ambush the champ. And Brad begging to get back in here. Albright not holding his own here tonight. But Skeens is on fire right now. And he might want to tag out in a minute. Keep himself fresh, but Albright still trying to fight back if he can. And he hasn't done a good job so far, because Skeens has got the control of him. And this is what I think Albright's been worried about. Skeens has been on a momentous amount of force right now. He's been on the up and up, on the rise. And the European Championship run that he had briefly, even if it was 2 months, did give him that championship experience as well now. And it adds that to his impressive repertoire and his resume. And now look at this. Irish whip over the ropes. And he's going to tag out here. He needed to. Albright desperately needed to make that tag. In comes original Brad, and these two come to blows once again. Oh, wait a minute. Brad straight away into the power slam position and stuns him off the ropes. And Brad might have to do the majority of the work for the rest of this matchup. But I'm sure if you ask Brad, he'll have no problem with doing that. Now Skeens trying to fight back. Oh, and he tried to maybe catch him off guard there with the running spear. Didn't quite catch him. And now Brad, look at this abdominal stretch here. Brad applying some submission work. Well, maybe he's taken what I said on board about his submission offense and defense. Now trying to work on one himself here. Oh, and very nice. escape there by Skeens, who backs up, or might have been thinking spear, but I don't think he anticipated Brad getting up as quickly as he did. Brad was looking for a sidewalk slam, but well done there to counter it. It's Skeens, and these two pretty evenly matched right now. But Skeens trying to create some distance between the two. Oh, and a beautiful flapjack. Steve Miller desperately wanting to get back in this match, but Skeens saying he's got this right now, and he seems to have. But Brad providing an answer here. What's he thinking? He's going back to the abdominal stretch. Just trying to wear him out here, beat him via submission, and Brad showing a new side to himself here tonight. And look at this. The abdominal stretch once again is countered, though. Brad holds it in for too long, and Skeens is able to escape. And now Skeens looking for a submission of his own. And we talked about already how weak Brad is at submission defense. The Anaconda Bite. The Anaconda Bite is locked in. He is in trouble. Albright doesn't come to his rescue. And Brad Skeens and Steve Miller pick up the win via submission. And that's what I was talking about. That's what you need to be working on, Brad. That submission defense is still not good enough to compete with the best submissionists in that Anaconda Bite. 3 for 3, never been kicked out of as of yet. The Anaconda Bite does the job. That was the spear that pretty much took Albright out of the equation. And from there, it was all fundamental. Steve Miller and Brad Skeens. Steve Miller didn't have to wear himself down too much tonight, but I'm not sure he'll mind that too much. Well, they celebrate together tonight, but only one of these guys could walk out the winner. Maybe neither of them could. Maybe one of the other two can pull off the upset. But tonight, it's Steve Miller and Brad Skeens, the growing favorites of the fans, who get the job done tonight. Are we looking at future champions? Will Albright be able to retain? And are we looking at a potential new face of WIW's Mayhem division? I don't know. We will have to find this all out at Lockdown. But that is going to wrap up tonight's show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like if you did. Comment your thoughts and feelings on tonight's show. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.